Welcome back to Manga Historian's Berserk series. Today we're going to be continuing our storyline, and in our last video, Rickard finally managed to meet up with Griffith and his new kingdom, and he rejected his invitation to stay. Though Griffith accepted Rickard's decision, Locust did not and ordered Rakshas to kill him. But just before Rakshas could carry out the assassination, Salat appeared to save Rickard in exchange for information on Griffith. With Rickard's recent attack on Falconia, he decided that it would be best for him to leave the kingdom. But as Rickard makes his needed preparations, the Rakshas watches him from within the shadows. Once Rickard gets into position, he triggers a fuse that surrounds Rakshas with a light, leaving him nowhere to go. There's a loud clank, and Rickard begins winding the lever on his repeating crossbow, and he begins firing it into Rakshas. The bolt starts shooting into him, and as Rickard stops, he notices that Rakshas isn't dead. Down below, a second body forms, and Rakshas tells him, "Didn't I tell you before, the mask is not necessarily where my head is." He begins to pull out the bolt as Rickard begins to ready another attack, and then he throws the bolt into Rickard's shoulder. Rakshas sets his mask back on his face, telling him, "I'm rather surprised. Rather than fleeing, you tried to ambush me. You must have nerves of steel." Rickard tells him one of his kind followed him for hundreds of leagues. He knows that he can simply not run away. Rakshas tells him, yes, many of the apostles have their fixations, especially enthralled by the hawk, which is why someday I wish to kill the hawk with my own hands. Suddenly there's a flash of metal as Rakshas dodges an oncoming attack, and he looks back at Salat holding his whip. Salat whips again, stating that an assassin is the one who administers death, not toys with it. Prepare to be carved up into pieces. While Salat lashes out, Rakshas sinks into the ground and starts to work his way towards Salat, when Salat kicks upward, stating that that won't work again. Between Salat's toes is a thin blade, and his upward kick cuts into the side of Rakshas' real face. He begins to pull back and set his mask back on his face, stating that those blades are done cutting, and he lunges forward. Salat quickly drops his whip, taking out his guitars, deflecting each of the attacks, and then using a thin blade, Salat jumps back, performing a backflip, attempting to cut again, but barely missing his mark. Rakshas steps back, stating that he certainly has improved from being the clan leader's conceited son. And Salat tells him yes, he was arrogant, but that was until a certain man on the battlefield put him in his place. Rickard hears Salat and thinks maybe he's talking about guts. Rakshas then looks at the firework flares, stating that soon they will end, and when that happens, the flames will burn out just like their lives. Moments later, the flares do begin to die down, covering the battlefield in darkness. As Rickard and Salat wait, there's a sound of a moving wagon, and the Tapasa run up with Rickard's makeshift fire extinguisher and a torch, stating that it's ready. The first Tapasa begins to pushing down on the pump, and the second holds the nozzle out in front of the torch. Suddenly, a wave of flame spreads out over the ground, covering Rakshas in flames. While this is happening, Erica and the girls are watching from the building, but Erica says that she needs to make sure Rickard is okay. Rickard says that this is what Locust meant by war demons, and as Rakshas finishes growing, he reaches out, grabbing a horse by the leg and holding it up over his head, ripping it in half. The blood from the horse begins to pour over him, putting out the flames, and even though he put himself out, most of his cloak still remains on fire. Erica then runs out, calling to Rickard, and just as Luca follows her, telling her not to, Rakshas reaches out and grabs her. Rickard screams out, "Let her go," but as Rakshas gets ready to use Erica to put out the flames, Salat throws his bladed rings. The rings shoot through the air, and as they reach Rakshas' face, there's two chings, and Rakshas holds up the rings in two of his tendrils. Soon, Rakshas' tendrils begin to grope around Erica, and Rickard shouts for him to stop. But before Rakshas can cut into Erica, he notices a snake crawling along the tendril. He pulls back the tendril to see more snakes crawling over him, and suddenly, he drops Erica. Everyone begins to run over, and just then Erica is caught by Diaba. But while Diaba is still hooded, everyone then asks who is that man floating in midair. Diaba tells Rickard that he has paid him back now, but for the Baki Raka he has a proposition to make. Would it be possible for him to accompany them on their journey? Salat says that he knows of the clan, just who are you? Diaba takes off his hood, stating that he's one of the vanquished, like themselves. Like them, a person who feels out of place in this new world. Salat yells that it is General Diaba, he's still alive! And Rickard asks who is that. Salat tells him that he's the leader of the Pishaka forces, the right-hand man to the great Emperor Ganishka himself, the sorcerer who controlled the Pishaka. Diaba corrects him and says, "Hi, sorcerer. Never mind, what is your answer?" Salat then looks at Rickard and asks what he thinks. And Rickard yells that there's no reason to turn him down. Right now, they have to fight their way out of this. Diaba holds his hand out, stating, of course. And just then, more snakes and rats begin to flood into the street, all making their way and crawling up Rakshas. A few moments later, everyone begins to hear him screaming out in pain. Diaba floats down, handing Erica off to Rickard. He then says that it isn't safe here. They may want to duck. Suddenly from behind, the barn that he was tending begins to rumble and break apart as the Pishka begin to fly out of it. Erica shouts that they're monsters, and Diaba tells her, "Don't worry, they won't eat you as long as I'm around." While everyone begins to get ready to flee, Erica runs over to the carriage telling them to hang on, there's something that she needs first. Everyone saddles up on the Pishka and they begin to fly off, and Diaba swoops down, dropping a small pouch into Luca's hands. Luca opens it and sees it filled with diamonds, and Diaba tells him that it's thanks to their kindness. Thank you, and goodbye. As everyone begins to fly off, Diaba says that they may be in the clear. But as Salat looks back, he sees Rakshas flying towards them and says, he wouldn't say so. Diaba laughs, stating, well, I'll be damned, the old hag can fly. Erica tells Rickert there, and he hands him a pouch. Rickert loads the pouch into a barrel and turns back, aiming it straight at Rakshas. As soon as he pulls the trigger, a small explosive shoots out of the barrel just past his face. However, the explosion ignites, setting Rakshas's upper body on fire. He begins to fall out of the sky, and Luca and the girls tell everyone to take care wherever it is that they go. But also watching them leave is Griffith atop his tower. Now, I know today's episode's a lot shorter than usual, but it was concluding the story of Rickert, and we didn't want to start up a new storyline. So, we get a shorter episode this week, but next week we'll be starting up another storyline here in the Berserk universe. Don't forget to subscribe so you can keep up to date as to what's happening with us over here at Berserk, over here at Manga Storian, and things like that. And I'll see you next time, right here at Manga Storian.